Hey to everyone who is out there joining us on this beautiful Tuesday evening. How are you guys doing? I hope you guys had a great day. And everything. And I want to thank you all for joining me. Let me see who's out here with me. Okay. Hey, Vita. Hey, Deborah Harris. Thank you for taking care of Kathy. And for those of you who don't know, today is Kathy Kelly's birthday. So if you haven't had an opportunity to go out there and say happy birthday to her, please go out there and do so. Hey Kim, good to see you, Kim. Listen, Mama Tony, we are ready for a chat today because we are going to be talking about Samuel Lassiter, of all of the Lassiters, the oldest one. So that's going to be great. Who else do we have out here? Let me see. Okay, I see Miss Prissy has joined me in the background, but now she's disappeared somewhere. I don't know what Miss Prissy went to, but she's there. In case you guys didn't hear me, I said thank you to Mama Tony. Hope you're ready to discuss Samuel Lassiter. Hey Pamela, good to see you out here. Hey Karen and Avita, Sharon. Hey LaShira Lee, how you doing out there, girl? LaShira, thank you for that picture you sent me this morning. I think it was this morning, but thank you for that picture that you sent me. Loved it. Hi Erica. Hi Donnell. Vanetta, it's good to see you out here too. All right, we have quite a few people out here. Miss Prissy, are you ready to put yourself in, or what are you doing? You don't know? Okay, we're gonna wait on you. Now I want to give you guys a heads up, just a little bit of a heads up. We've had a little bit of an issue with storms around here. Last night it was pretty rough. Um, Today it doesn't seem so bad, but it's looking like it is interfering with some of our service in the area. So I wanted you guys to be aware of that. I hope you guys can hear me okay. I'm not sure if you can or you can't. But I hope that you can. It seems like we have a few people out there. So thank you guys for hanging in there. Um, oh, Pamela, thank you so much for that. We're really excited for her. Pamela just congratulated Destiny, my daughter-in-law. She won her primary bid to run for office on the Democratic ticket here in Virginia. So thank you for that, Mama Tony. Thank you for letting me know. That's why I kept talking because I wasn't sure when things was going to kick in or kick out or whatever they was going to do. So thank you, Mama Tony, for letting me know you can hear me. As I was saying, we've been a little stormy for the last couple of days, so it might be a little spotty as we're going through this process tonight. But the hope is that you guys, even if you can't see us too well, the hope is that you can at least hear us while we're talking and everything. So thank you guys. Hey Brenda, good to see you out here. Hey Nancy, thank you for joining us. Annette Parker, thank you so much for joining us. Hey Connie. Good to see you out here, Connie. Let's see who else we got out here. It's a lot of you guys out here. Thank y'all so much for coming out here to talk about Samuel Lassiter of all people. But before we get started, is a couple of things. Tonight's chat, of course, you guys know we had to kind of switch off our dates because last week we had the election going on. So we really didn't get a chance, wasn't going to have a chance to really chat. So we changed it to this week. However, tonight we also have another chat that's happening, which is on Beverly's page, Beverly Jenkins' page. So she has a chat, and her chat is going to start at 9 o'clock. So what I'm going to try to do is try to make sure that we get through our chat, hopefully before um 8:30, at least by 8:30, so that any of you guys who want to go over there and join in on Beverly's chat, you guys are going to be able to do that. So now if you guys can, if you can see me and hear me okay, just let me know. Nancy, I know. Nancy Jones said, she said, this book caused me to read the whole series again. Girl, that's what it does. That's what it did to me. Also, it caused me to go in and have to start reading the whole series, which is crazy because right now I'm in the middle of writing like two books. I can't be out there reading. I can't be out there reading. I see Miss Prissy is trying to join in with us. So we're gonna give her a minute to get her stuff together. Hi, Brenda. So good to see you out here. Thank you for joining us and everything. As I was saying, guys, we are going to try to keep this um until 8:30. Miss Prissy, if you don't mute yourself while you dragging that thing across your desk. Either way, um, because Beverly's chat starts at 9, so we're gonna try to set it up so that you guys will be able to get to both of them without any issues or anything. So that's that. A few more announcements that I want to make before we start talking about Samuel is that, did you guys know that it is actually audiobook month? It is audiobook month, and I wanted to make sure that you guys knew that, and to tell you that we're going to be giving away some audiobooks here this evening. So make sure you stay in tune, because that is going to be happening. Another thing that I do want to let everyone know about is, we've been doing the kitchen table chats. For me, has been for 15 years now, where I go and I just sit at your kitchen table with your friends or whoever, and we talk stories, we talk books, because that's what I love to do. And I haven't been on the road doing it for a while. So I decided that in 2024, we are going to be doing kitchen table chats, guys. We are going on the road. Now, here's the thing though. We only have about 12 slots. We had 12 slots open, but unfortunately, we have gotten to the point where six of those have been taken already. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. But six of them has been taken already, which it leads us down to six slots. So if you have a book club, or you have a group of ladies that you just want to sit down at your kitchen table and you want to talk books, and you want me to be there with you, put your name on the post and let me know what city you're in, what city and state you're in, so that we can go in, and as we're putting the schedule together, we know what group we're going to do where, and we can let everyone know where we're going to be. So yes, we are going on the road with the kitchen table chat, and I hope you guys can join me. Miss Person, why are you in the dark? You don't know why you in the dark? Is the electricity off? Is it really the storms knock you guys out? It did us last night too. It knocked us out a little bit last night too. Is your microphone working? Can you talk? You can talk. Okay, how about if we unmute you? You chose to mute yourself. Are you back on? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. I can see the light over top of your head.
It's the only light I got.
Well, thank you for coming in and joining me underneath of those circumstances. I appreciate that. I really do.
You're
Lashira
welcome.
Lee, Lashira Lee said, "Yes, ma'am. Audiobooks rock. They do. I'm an audiobook listener. I love listening to audiobooks. They work for me. Especially when I'm in the writing mode, because I cannot. just stop, what I'm doing and read all the time. So when I put an audio book in, I could just listen to it in my car, wherever, pick
Mm-hmm.
up and go look at, and I just love that. Um, Pamela said, are more of your books on audio? Pamela, thank you for asking that question. The Pendleton Rule is on audiobook. You guys know that. But an international affair is now on audiobook. And I'm going to tell you, when you go to listen to that one, if you want to listen to a clean sample, go to Barnes and Nobles and listen to a clean sample, because the sample on Apple, the sample starts right in the middle of the action. So I will
That
tell
it
you,
does, right
it
in the
does
middle
start
of.
right in the middle of the action. And Winston James did a really good job on that. And in August, we have another audiobook that is coming out in August, A Risky Affair, Fires and LT Story,
Woo!
coming out on audiobook in August. So I hope you guys are ready for that one. So tonight, though, tonight we are going to. I'm sorry, Pamela said, "What about Amazon? You can get the books on um Audible, which is Amazon, right? Yeah, Audible is Amazon. So you can get them anywhere that audiobooks are. You can get them on Audible books. You can get them on Amazon. You can get it on um Kobo, you can get it at Barnes and Nobles, you can get it on Apple, you can get it on Tandor Media, their site, directly from their site. So yes, you can get the audio books everywhere. So there you go. Nancy, yes, he did. Nancy, we was talking about Winston James and the job that he did on the audiobooks. And I would tell you, the voice works.
It really does work.
The
Mm-hmm.
voice works. Donnell indicated that she got hers from Amazon's Audible, which is where I got mine too. Well, I kind of had it because it's my story, but but that's why I listened to it. It was on Audible. So Audible, Apple, Barnes and Nobles, it's everywhere you can get an audiobook. You should be able to get it from there. So now the reason why we are all here tonight is we are here to discuss the one and only Samuel Lassiter. Oh man, I don't know about you guys, but I loved writing this story because it was fun, it was sexy, and we got to do a redo on Cynthia, right? Because Cynthia was one of those characters, and we didn't know if she was a hit or miss there for a minute, right, Miss Prissy? When we first
For
met her,
sure. Yes.
when we
Exactly.
first
I
met
didn't
her,
really like her that
so
much.
we don't know if we liked her, or didn't like her. Hey, Shalise, thanks for joining us, darling. So glad you could join us. We have Vita Brown says, yes, the voice works. And he does. He really works for Luke. He really works for Luke. So she said, yes. Erica, you know what? If you have not tried an audiobook, somewhere along the line, send me your email address. Hit me off this, because you may not want to share your email address with everyone, but hit me off here and send me your email address, and I will send you a free download of the Pendleton Rule, and you can hear the Pendleton Rule in audiobook as well. Martha says she just put a link to an international affair audiobook in the comments section. So if any of you guys want to go out there and just listen to a sample of it, you're more than welcome to do that.
Thank
Hey,
you,
Brenda
Martha.
Walton. Yeah, Martha doing her thing. Thank you, Martha. She doing her thing. So yeah, you can go out there and you can get the audiobook pretty much anywhere audiobooks are sold. So I'm a little excited about that, because you have A Risky Affair is going to be coming out in Audible in August. A Family Affair is going to be coming out in September, and then A Christmas Affair is coming out, I think, in October or November. One of those, but you're going to get all four of those books in audiobook, and well, I don't know if I can tell you about the other one yet. I'm gonna wait on that until it's officially announced.
Yes, wait.
So we're gonna wait on that. So Miss Prissy, and everyone who's out there, thank you guys for registering and coming to hang out with me. Are you guys ready to discuss Samuel? Because it's a whole lot to this book, and like I said, we're gonna try to behave and get off here in time so that you guys can go and catch Beverly's chat too. So if you guys are ready, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna jump right in to Samuel's story.
Get it in.
Samuel's story was very interesting, right?
Yes.
Because Samuel's story started off one way and it really ended up another way, right? Right. It ended up with we thought maybe he was going to be with one person, but he wasn't with that. She didn't end up with that person. She ended with somebody completely different. Completely different. So I have to ask you guys, and I'm following the chat, so I'm gonna see what you guys say. But when did you actually think that? At what moment do you believe that Samuel actually fell in love with Cynthia? What do you think, Miss Prissy?
I kind of think that when the first time she was in the hospital and he sat there and watched her,
You think that's when it happened? What do you guys think? What do you think that Samuel actually fell for Cynthia? So you think it was the first time she was in the hospital?
Maybe, I'm not sure. Or it could
Wow.
have been when, he was watching her at her home and seeing all the things that, she was going through.
Mm-hmm.
That could have been the moment.
Oh, Connie says, that's a good one, Connie. But I think he was gone by then. Because only a man in love with you can sit down and cook a meal with you, help you cook a meal for another man. So
you think?
so I think he was already gone. Sharon said the first time he saw her. Now remember, the first time he saw her was at James Brooks' house. They was having that party where they all got caught in the snow, and
Yeah.
she was the hostess for that party. So I kind of think, she definitely caught his eye then. Now Pamela said at the accident, and she was showing she was independent and stubborn. I think he might have been ready to throw her in the snow.
Yeah.
What do you think, Miss Prissy?
I think it could be the accident. I don't think it was at James' wedding reception though.
No, it wasn't the
Um
wedding reception. I'm talking about remember the book started with her at James and Ashley's house because they was doing a party. And all of the guests, she was watching the snow to make sure that all of the guests got out of there in time, and stuff like that, so they wouldn't get caught up in the snow. That's how Look Into My Heart started, was actually at James Brooks' house. And she saw this
okay.
man. And she had a feeling that that man was, checking her out, but
I
she
thought it
wasn't.
was LeVere checking her out at that time.
LaVille was checking her out at that time too, but there was another man that she was looking for, that her eyes kept wandering for at the very beginning of this story.
Okay.
So that was another part.
I didn't.
Who is this? Martha said, I
I'm
didn't
with you,
like Cynthia
Martha.
at first, but she grew on me.
Me
I
too,
think
Martha.
he fell for her after she refused to wait for him when she wanted to go running. Oh,
Mm,
oh, look who's here, Miss Prissy.
I see.
You see, you see, Midnight. You, I don't know who she thinks she's talking to,
Because nobody can hear her.
because you wasn't in the street. Midnight. Our first question was:
Oh,
at what
okay.
moment do you believe Samuel actually fell in love with Cynthia or fell for Cynthia? Now, a number of people said when she was at the hospital, Miss Prissy said when she was at the hospital, I think it was actually at James and Ashley's party. She didn't know who he was at that time, but she did make eye contact with him at the party. So I'm thinking it was then, but that could have been on her part.
Well,
Maybe not on
I
Samuel's
don't
part.
know, but I
Yeah,
think
I
all of
think
you
that was
are.
on
I,
her
I
part.
think all of you are right. But there was a moment that I really felt the connection with them, and that was when she went to Levere's and his assistant talked down to her.
And Samuel witnessed it.
And yeah, and I felt like that was really when it was really sealed with a kiss, not with a kiss, but it was sealed.
It was sitting there. Donnell said something interesting. She said the way that she treated his dog, sitting on the floor and rubbing his dog's head.
Oh yeah, that's important too.
That
That,
is
that
Yeah.
that's
really
a major
that
thing for him.
yeah, because if a dog like you,
Hmm.
you're probably in.
Yeah.
You probably in if a dog like you because they are very what's the word? Sensitive. They're very in tune with who's good people and who's bad people. So that could
That's
be a
interesting.
part of it, you know.
That's interesting. I kind of felt something too, because she just when she first touched the dog, he just looked at her and he looked at his dog like, "What you doing, man?"
Because he was supposed to be an attack dog, right?
Right.
You know.
Trade in the midst, but the dogs be needing love too, and they can sense. They I think the dog can sense both of their emotions.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And she was going through some things at that point, right?
Yeah.
Yes. A lot of things.
Yeah. Kim said it was when the Wizard of Oz was on video. Remember when they watched
Oh,
the Wizard of Oz?
he watched that with her.
Yeah, can you imagine Samuel sitting there and watching the Wizard of Oz with someone?
Why not? I love Disney movies.
The
So,
Wizard of Oz is not a Disney movie.
well, not the first one.
Okay, we're not going through that with you.
Cause she gonna make her point.
Yeah, the Wizard of Oz was never a Disney movie. That's not a Disney movie.
Okay.
Okay,
You're probably right.
thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, the next question that we have for the listening audience is Sammy appears to be a quiet type kind of man, right?
Yes, indeedy.
So what do you think what is his strength?
Oh man, he's a man of many strengths, but I would say
Yes.
I would say his perception is one.
Yeah,
And
he's very observant,
Yeah.
you know, of everything and everyone.
he picks up on things that you wouldn't think he even saw,
Right. I
right?
agree with
And
that.
he also picks up on people.
Hmm.
Yes.
He reads people very, very well, but he knows how to handle them. For example, when he first met Sophia,
Mm.
he did not like her. He knew who she was. She was talking about his mama.
Yes, she was.
Now, unlike
Fire.
Jade, Jade didn't knock Samuel didn't knock Sophia over the banister. for talking about his mama, right? He kind of
Well, you know,
Jade and Fire would that
the
those are the
men don't
ones
put
that
their
come.
hands on women. The Lassiter
well,
men don't put their
that's
hands on
true.
women.
That part is true. Mama Tony said he wanted to help her feel safe when they watched that movie, when they watched The Wizards of Oz. So you might have a point there, Mama, because he did want her to not only feel safe, but he wanted her to feel cared for.
Right.
You know, he was willing to sit there and watch that movie with her. You know,
You know another thing he did too was, still there is no that this man is an alpha male, no mistaking at all.
no,
But I also liked it. I thought it was endearing, and for the fact that he was willing to help her cook that meal so that she could win that bet.
Yes, for
But
another
but
man,
he
she did.
also he and so he was willing to take a step back so that she could be herself, whoever that was at the time, you know.
right, right. And I had, like I said before, anytime a man is willing to help you cook a meal for another man, that's some kind of
Oh, that
special love.
too. That
Hmm.
too.
Yeah.
But then when he stood her up, he was dressed up. He was dressed up like I was like, look, he willing to be a butler for
A
her.
brother for her, right? Right. He was going to help her one way or another. He was going to help her, right?
Yeah.
So,
Samuel was good for Cynthia. Samuel was good for Cynthia.
and I don't think there's another personality that would have been able to deal with Cynthia in her ways, because Cynthia, let's be honest,
Yeah,
Cynthia got some ways on her.
she sure
Right?
do.
So
She could be very snobbish, very insensitive.
very judgmental,
Yes.
very judgmental. But what we come to find about Cynthia is she's very blunt. She is very judgmental, but she tell you,
Hmm.
Yeah.
straight up.
As Tracy would say, she keep it real.
She keep it real. Oh, the light. You now have light.
Yes. Well, you know what
But
that means.
Levere would I
John
think
is working in the background, which is
I was going to say Levere was a nice guy, and
he
but I
was.
think I think what he lacked for Cynthia, he could give her everything that she wanted, but he lacked the ability to love her because that wasn't his soulmate, and so that one very element right there just would not have worked for her. She
And
needed to be loved.
that's really what worked for Samuel.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Levere was really nice. We know all throughout every story that Levere is in, we love Levere. He's one of our heroes too. Um, but you're right. His love at that time was for his country.
Yeah.
Yes.
His love was for his country, and she wasn't the woman to pull that away, to pull him away from that.
He was
You
True.
gonna
know,
use her in a sense though too. I mean, he was gonna make it work, but he was gonna use her because he was gonna use her strengths to be able to
help
reform,
his country.
yeah, his country.
Hmm.
And that wouldn't have lasted long. She'd have liked it at first because she could boss
Yeah.
people around, but it would have got old real fast.
Yes. Real, real fast.
Real fast, real fast. Vita said his strength is his control in hectic situations, and
Yeah.
Lord knows
I agree
Samuel
with you,
displayed
Gina.
a whole lot of control
Yes.
throughout this story. A lot of control, even when it came down to his brother Joshua.
Hmm.
Samuel really had to, he had a lot of control. Um, and the other part, who said this? The other thing Donnell said is Samuel was the person that noticed that Cynthia only cried in her bedroom.
Yes, that was true.
That's the only place
That
she
was
she cried.
interesting to me too, because while she'll speak out to everyone else and hurt their feelings, and they react like right then and there, she kept her moments private.
She kept her moments private. She did. She really did.
I
Um,
think I think from her upbringing, she wasn't afforded the opportunity to show any type of weakness. And because
Unfortunately,
she
he was
grew
not.
right, and because she was alone, she always had to feel like she could take care of herself.
Herself.
But you know what? I think Brian kind of knew that too about her
He
because
did. He
yeah,
did. But to
Mhm.
say that, I know when we first met Cynthia, we had a lot of issues with Cynthia because
yeah,
Cynthia had a lot of issues. When we first met her, but Cynthia drew not only good looking men, she drew really good men, close to
she
her. I
did.
mean, look at
A senator.
Brian. Look at Brian. Oh no, look who's here, y'all. T- Okay, say hey,
Look,
hey.
look, her key work too, huh?
Look, her key apparently worked too.
My what word?
Your key
Your
work too,
key
huh?
What key?
to the back,
To
to
the
the
back door.
backstage.
Yes, my keyword. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know I had to have a key.
Oh
I had,
Lord.
I had to run in real quick to speak to everybody. How y'all doing? Hey,
Hey Shay,
Hey
baby.
Shay, hey
Okay.
Shay, Shay. Everybody say hello to Shay, Shay baby for dropping in and saying hi to us.
yes, I was on another show, right? And so I was like, listen, y'all, my sister's she got the table, the chit chat going on. I gotta go over there and see what's going on.
The table, the chit
The,
chat.
the kitchen table chat.
Yeah, I told them it was a chit chat. And so and yeah, so I had to come over here and see what y'all was doing for a moment.
Well, thank you for
Well,
dropping
thank
in.
you for
And we
joining
have
us.
another one after this because Bev's chat starts at 9.
Really? Who she chat
Yes.
with?
So as soon as we finish with this one,
Well, which
we got.
book she's chatting about?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, well look, and will my
My
key still work?
it's what?
And will my
No,
key
I think we gotta get another keychain because that's
That's
another
another.
key.
Yeah, that's another
Another
chain.
key.
It's not here.
that's somebody else's house. We gotta go over there.
Right,
This
yeah,
is
right
something
there.
else.
Look, we might be climbing through the window on that one.
Oh, they said Wild Rain. Wild
Ooh, I
Rain
love.
Wow.
I
is
like
the
that
is the
story.
Oh
discussion. Thank
yeah.
y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all.
Thank
I
y'all.
appreciate that.
Appreciate that.
I do. So but yeah, Samuel's strengths was in the way that he could read people.
Mm-hmm.
And also it was in the way that he treated people. Because even though like Sophia really should have been knocked on her ass a couple of times for the things that she was saying
Yeah.
around him. Now the girls ain't had no problem doing it, but Samuel, he was calm and he handled things, tactfully,
Very.
tactfully. So Lord help us with that.
I know he wasn't going to let her through that door until she announced herself or whatever it was.
That is true. But you know what, Nancy, you are right. You are so right with this statement. Nancy said, it affects you deeply when you have to take care of yourself without parental support. You
Mm,
learn to hide your real self from other people. That
I
is so
agree.
true with Cynthia.
Hmm.
that
Yeah.
is
You
true.
know,
Baby, you read that, honey. You read that with feeling.
yeah, because it's true.
Yeah.
She really did. Remember, her parents left her. She was what, 19 years old?
Yeah.
18.
You know, she was in college, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was her first. She was a freshman in college,
Right.
and her parents up and moved to the West Coast. They left her the estate and everything, but they left her in that big ass house by herself.
Right.
So she had to learn how to deal with things. And fortunately Bryant was there to help her deal with stuff. Thank goodness.
I always thought that was such a unique relationship that they had. When I first met them and read that, I was just like, how is that even happening? And that they wasn't together like that,
Right. They
You
wasn't
know,
a couple. Right.
they weren't a couple.
Yeah.
And why when she asked the question, Brian told her straight up, cause you can be right bitchy. And I'm an asshole.
Yeah.
You know.
And on that note, I'm
And
doing.
it's
I'm gonna call y'all back. I'm on the West Coast doing the traditional radio, and my sister is cussing. So I'm
Okay.
gonna talk to y'all a little bit. Love y'all.
See you,
Bye.
Shay. Love you
Shay.
too.
Bye.
Catch you next go round.
Definitely, I'll be back. Y'all get the key for me now, so I can come on back.
Okay, we'll send it to you.
All right, bye.
We'll
Love y'all.
send it to you.
All right.
Okay, when we met Cynthia, did you think she would be so vulnerable? Did y'all think Cynthia, when you first met her in, of course, you first met her in Once You Touch the Heart,
Right.
and she was one of those people who said what came, if it came to mind, it came out of her mouth. That was it. So did y'all think that she would turn out to be as vulnerable as she was? And she truly was vulnerable, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was.
But she
Yes, she
hid
was.
it. She hid it well though. I don't know. I didn't think I had trouble with Cynthia. I did not dislike her when I first met her, but I just thought like, wow, because all of the girls that she hung around, with Roz and all of them, they seem to have an understanding. And sometimes you do have that friend who is just loud and obnoxious, but you're able to deal with them. So I didn't
Yeah,
like her right away, but I did not expect for her to be so vulnerable. When you started peeling the layers off of her, finding out about her mother and talking through Brian and all of that, I thought, my goodness, it's
yeah.
Yeah.
no
She
wonder
was
she was
she
like
was
that.
she was dealing with a lot, and so was Brian at the
Yeah,
time,
yeah,
right? So both of them was dealing with quite a bit of emotional things going on in their lives, and they were
That's
both
true.
young.
Ooh, I have a
You know.
question. I have a question, but I'll let
Yeah.
that question go through for a while before I ask mine.
Oh Lord. Okay. Well, Martha said I thought her attitude was
oh,
hiding something.
yeah.
Hmm. She said I thought
Yeah.
her attitude was hiding something. Midnight, you handling the questions for me?
I was trying to, but
Thank you, darling.
I
I
moved.
appreciate that.
I'm
I
sorry, I
do.
moved
Thank
my
you.
mouse to get in position for the next one, and I hid my.
That's okay. Thank you so much for doing that. But you know what's going to happen right now? Guess what? It's giveaway time. Let's see what's in store this week. Okay, guys. Yes, we are giving away our first Audible book. Now, like we said, this month is audiobook month.
Yes.
So, what we're going to do now, we already have where we're sending Erica a copy of the Pendleton Rule
Mm-hmm.
midnight. So, let's make sure we put her name down. I don't know, I remember Erica's last name, but Erica is going to get a copy of the Pendleton Rule. So, I got to say hi to Deborah. Hi, Deborah.
Hey, Deborah, how
Hey,
are
girl.
you?
Good to see you out here. So now what we're gonna need to do is Miss Prissy, I'm gonna let you pick. Do you see the comments out there?
Yes.
Okay, stroll from the top and go all the way down and just pick somebody. And whoever you pick is the person who's gonna win a free download of the Pendleton Rule, a free audiobook download of the Pendleton Rule.
Okay. Anybody?
And you pick anybody you want to pick except for you.
Oh man. Well, I'm gonna pick someone who has a name close to mine. Cindy Parker.
Okay, Cindy, congratulations. You just won a copy, free download of the Pendleton Rule audiobook. So if you would, somewhere along the line, send me, you can direct message me wherever we communicate at, and send me your email address, and I will get that right on out to you. You can be listening to the Pendleton Rule tonight.
No.
Congratulations, Cindy.
And be careful
Congratulations.
where y'all listen to that.
You did what?
I was telling, be careful where they listen to that ad. Don't just start that up. You better
Yes,
have
you
some
you do.
earbuds in your ear when you start it off.
Even though it's not as in depth as the beginning of an international affair, the
Mm-hmm.
Pendleton Rule is still one of those stories where you want to know who you are around when you're listening to it. So let me put it to you that way.
Okay,
Um,
so can I ask my question now?
yes, ma'am, you can.
So between Cynthia and Tracy, both of them had mama's issues. Who do you think got it worse from the mamas? Cynthia or Tracy?
I'm gonna say Cynthia only because Tracy had Turk.
I'm going to say Cynthia because it continued on. At some point, Lena
Mm-hmm.
um actually came to be a mother type figure for Tracy. Cynthia's mother never,
Never. Right.
never.
with it all the way to her dying breath.
Right. Okay, that's the Erica. Hi, Erica.
That
Midnight.
Erica Cavalier.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's the
Okay,
Erica
yeah,
who
I
won.
got
So we have Erica and Cindy, who both are going to get downloads of a Pill to Rule audio book.
Ooh.
Okay. Okay, next question. Next question, y'all. Were you surprised that Cynthia took to Rusty the way that she did? Because
Mhm.
Cynthia and that dog bonded just like
Like
that.
that.
And Rusty was looking out for her too.
Right. Because I felt that the way Cynthia carried herself and everything, that she wouldn't be a dog person, that she wouldn't, she was too prissy, so to speak.
You would
That she
think,
would,
right?
yeah. Yeah. So I
But
was
she
really
didn't.
surprised how her and Rusty hit it off.
They hit it right off right beginning, which is, a lot of people were shocked because, we didn't look at Cynthia as a loving person. But
Right.
the way that
she didn't have pets, but if I don't know, I'm a dog lover, so it's just I don't know. I just feel like everybody would like a dog if you haven't had anything that made you fearful of them.
No, everybody's not gonna like a dog.
Yeah.
They will put up with your dog, like Miss Prissy puts up with Roxy, and Lashira
I
puts up
like
with
Roxy.
Lashira
Except for
runs
when she
from
jumped on
Roxy.
me.
She was
Roxy
here at
is
the house
heavy.
one time,
Who?
and Roxy was downstairs, and Lashira went running upstairs so that she could close the door before she got in. And Roxy chased her right on up the steps. Roxy ran right on up the steps behind her.
Oh my goodness, Lashira.
And then she had the nerve to peep out the door and say to Roxy, I beat you up. I beat you up. You couldn't catch me.
That's so
she don't know she was just fueling Rusty's.
That's all she was doing.
Roxy's
yeah, because Roxy loved to play.
Yeah,
she does. But Martha said, my mother is obsessed with the Pendleton Rules audiobook and has started the international affair. Girl, if she was obsessed with that voice on the Pendleton Rule, you ain't gonna never get her to stop listening to an international affair. So get ready, Martha. Okay. Antoinette said, she said, I was shocked at the closeness between Rusty and Cynthia. And I think a lot of people were, but dogs pick up on your emotions. And dogs know when you need love.
Yeah, I like what Pamela Meredith said.
She said Tracy is more emotional, whereas Cynthia was emotional and verbally abused. Cynthia was abused in every kind of way. I mean, that mother of hers, my Lord, is a good thing that she did not end up with something when it comes to men, because she saw the way that her mother was treating her father too.
Yeah.
So that's a whole another thing.
But Cynthia and you, when we talk about mother issues, let's not forget about Carolyn.
Oh,
Carolyn's mother was she was a mess too. But know what? Even in that, remember when and I'm sorry guys, I'm coming a little bit out of this book, but speaking of Carolyn, like and Lena. So, when them tables changed with Lena was more, I don't know. I was real shocked at when Lena took up for
Tracy, right?
No, for Carolyn.
For Carolyn.
For Carolyn.
Oh,
and
yeah,
with her son.
Yeah.
Right.
Remember she slapped the woman slapped her in the store, and then Lena handled her. But I thought, my goodness, she then went from being a no mother to
that
now
mother,
trying
that
to
mother.
Yeah, and then she automatically just jumped right into defense mode for Carolyn.
She did.
She never did that for Tracy.
No,
yeah, but I also think that Lena, once she got to see Carolyn's life for real, I think Lena saw that she needed a defender
Well, she
in her
let the
life.
woman slap her and didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
Somebody had to
Yeah.
take some action.
Yeah, but Lena took that. But remember, she also pulled her son aside, Gavin Jr.
Oh yeah,
Oh, and that's,
Remember
that's, a
that?
whole, that's
So
a whole talk show right there.
for real.
Never forget
Grandmere
that.
wasn't having it.
I
that's
will never
true.
forget
That's
that.
true. That's true. Now Donnell said, remember she had the doggy biscuits for her neighbor's dogs when she went running.
I forgot about that. I forgot about that, Donella.
Yeah.
I
That's
forgot all
somebody that
about
read details. This is someone who did not skip sentences. Okay.
that. She picked up those little crumbs the dogs left.
Hi,
Yeah.
LaShawn. Welcome to the show.
Hey,
And yes,
LaShawn.
LaShawn, your books came in today. So Mr. Take Me As I Am is here. You can either pick it up or you can drop it in the
Martha
mail.
said her stepfather is upset because she burned dinner while listening to us.
Said
Who
what?
that?
Martha. While listening, her
Oh,
stepfather's upset because who burnt the dinner?
the mama.
Your mom burnt dinner while she was listening to the Pendleton Rule audio book. What part?
Does it matter?
Right.
Oh wow. What part? Lord help us. Donnella needs to.
Look, she didn't have no
Donnella needs to
cast
download that comment. Which comment, Sharita? So I got to know which comment.
for the dog biscuits, because she picked up on that detail.
On that detail, she did. She really did pick up on that detail because
Listen
some
out,
people.
Sabrina.
Yeah, because I don't even really remember that.
When she went running, it was just one of those little things that was thrown in there.
Yeah,
okay.
I forgot about it.
Yes, Antoinette. Lena will slap the taste out of your mouth. All you gotta do is give her a reason, and sometimes it don't have to be in a particular reason. Lena be okay to slap you with no problems.
I'm gonna have to go off camera for a bit.
Now, Erica said Tracy was a lot stronger than Cynthia.
Yeah, I feel like I
have to agree with
that. A lot to do with Turk, though. Yeah, because Turk really, when you look at it, he really gave her the foundation for who
that she needed. He really did. Because Tracy went through some things, and he gave her the strength she needed to keep going. All right, next question. If you were Samuel, would you have helped Cynthia cook for another man, knowing how he felt for her?
I think he would. I think he was strategic.
I think he would do just about anything for Cynthia.
Her. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and he was playing the long game.
Right. Yeah.
He was playing the long game. He wasn't trying to get it. This wasn't a quickie thing for him. He wanted the heart. He wanted the body too, but he wanted the heart first.
Yeah. But she was damaged though too, so he had to be careful. She wasn't ready for all of him at that moment.
And it took a little time for him to it took a little time for him to really get underneath of her skin the way he wanted to, the way he needed to.
And then she also had to make the choice too, because he knew coming into her life she was already had that budding relationship with LaVere. So he had to make sure that's not where she wanted to go before he, started pouring into her.
Remember when he talked with Brian said, "Man, you bold because you're going up against a governor and a prince."
Mm.
Which is
but it was about the materialistic things at that point. They really wasn't in Cynthia's heart. They was just saying, what could he give her at that point? And again, even Cynthia did not know what his finances was like at the time. So
that's right. She did not know.
and he still chose her.
He did. He did.
I mean, she still chose
Um,
her. Yeah.
Now, Pamela, you said except with the grandkids.
Uh-oh.
What were we talking about? Lena and the grandkids. Listen, when we got to talk about the grandkids because we got to go to the funny scene.
Right, right. The classic scene nobody will ever forget.
The classic scene when the grandkids were trying to help their grandmother wash the clothes because they wanted to be able to stay up later. And the only way they could do it was to help grandma with the chores, right? So she didn't have so much to do. So they decided piece by piece, they got the little wagon and they took the clothes out to the fountain and they put the detergent in the fountain water and they call themselves washing the clothes in the fountain. And Lena saw all these bubbles coming from the fountain. And instead of running out there to stop the kids from what they were doing, Lena thought it was funny.
She was
And
like,
she
"Oh,
just,
look at them. They trying to help."
they
But
trying to help.
it was funny though, coming from them. Like, okay, this is not no ordinary family we talking about here. We talking about politicians and all kind of. And they had at least 3 adults in that room, and
They had,
nobody
they
saw.
had security people. Remember, Al was there. Ryan was there. The grandmothers was in the kitchen. They was walking past the grandmother and Mrs. Gordon, with the clothes, and no one thought to stop these children to ask, what are you guys doing? And
And wasn't that the same day that Joshua came with firecrackers?
the fireworks
that,
later on.
that whole day was just a mess. But those kids was in 7 heaven.
It was very, very interesting. Sharita said she didn't like Cynthia until she had Samantha.
Oh, and then Samantha was a whole lot like her too.
And Samantha, listen, if anybody is getting the returns off of what they did to other people, it's Cynthia. It's Cynthia. Now Cindy said Samuel knew he was going to get her in the end. Like I said, Samuel was playing the long game. He wasn't for no quickie or nothing. He was going for the heart. He was going for the jugular. That's all there was to it. He wasn't going to be playing around. And Antoinette said he was confident in his ability to hang in there to the end and outlast LaVere. It wasn't hard because LaVere kind of disappeared.
Yeah.
He kind of disappeared because of the stuff that was going on in his country. Speaking of which, I know I got a question in here about that man. We're not there yet, but Jamal.
Yeah. Jamal.
Remember Jamal?
Who could forget him?
Jamal was a mess.
But I think
he was a mess. But
I think he took his responsibilities too far. And again, we don't know what it's like to be that type of servant in a country, like that, because people in other countries, when they have when they be appointed to a position, it's like it consumes their entire life.
It does. I mean? It does. And it's also in their country, it was a class thing, right? So there may have been other servants that were servants to other people, but being placed as servants in the home of the royalty, the king and the queen, that's a whole different level of class, and he kind of took it a little further than what he should have. But we're gonna get to him in a minute. Sharita says Cynthia was too damn friendly with all these men. Well, yeah. She did enjoy men. And she had her share. As Tracy and Ross said, and Ashley said, you've been around a football stadium or 2 or 3, maybe 4, but that's okay. Now you want love, but you've already been around the stadium, so
But I think we talked about that. Did we talk about, did she really go around that many times, or that was a perception? Was she really that loose, or was that the perception? I think we had this conversation before.
What was
Cynthia.
Cynthia was she liked testing the waters.
Okay.
She enjoyed testing the water. You know. Yes, Sharita. Sharita said, wasn't that seen in another book? Yes, it was. But we was talking about Lena and the grandkids.
Cynthia was a flirter. She liked flirting.
Yeah, that's
That
what I
too.
thought, flirting. But did she really do the whole do? Did she go all the way, all the time?
Whenever she felt like it.
Well, and look, you say that as you drinking your tea, but you didn't hear that from me. Whenever she felt like it, but you didn't hear that from me.
Whenever she felt like it. Yes, Sharita, that was in another book, and yes, it was hilarious. And every time I think about the grandkids, about Lena grandkids, that scene comes to mind because it was just that crazy. And to think that Turk was the one that was supposed to be watching them.
But he left adults in charge. And I think they even asked to be in charge of those kids at that time. And they sat at that table and got to talking and was like, oh, cool. And then them kids over there about to, and then nobody watched them when Joshua took them behind the garage and almost burned up the house.
And did the fireworks and stuff and caught the darn garage on fire.
And didn't he walk away from them? He didn't even stay there and supervise them, I think.
Well, I don't know. They were still there, but Joshua didn't stay. He just
right. That's what I'm saying. He gave them those fireworks and then walked off. That is true. Nobody was minding the kids that day.
No, it wasn't.
Joshua was always bringing fireworks to the party.
Always. And LaShawn said, "Stop taking up for Jamal." Midnight. He won't no good. That's all that was.
Oh no, LaShawn, I am not. Honey, he was not even redeemable in my eyes. But I'm just saying, people from that country, like that, they take their stuff with their whole heart and DNA. No, I am not defending him. I did not like that man.
Antoinette said Jamal made me want to beat the hot snot out of him with that
rate. You are right. I think at that point for me, when he did that act of selfishness with Cynthia and that accident, that's when I said no, he can't even be redeemable.
But he did that purposely. Let's remember, he planned that thing out and then tried to cover it up. That's why he wasn't able to find her.
With it too. He was spiteful with it.
Yep, he was spiteful. He was, but Jamal, who is this? Nancy said Jamal thought he was all that in a party pack. He did. But he thought that because he had the backing of the king. What he didn't understand is that the queen always overruled the king. So he took the wrong side, but he felt like because the king asked him to do such and such and such, he had that authority.
But when LeVere went back and he had to stay that time frame, he was part of that uprising over there.
He was a part of that uprising because he was the one that was feeding the information to them about LeVere talking about marrying this American woman.
But you know what he meant for bad ended up turning for good because the women actually went to LeVere and explained, in a subtle way about what they felt like. And that is the reason why when he came back, he knew he couldn't marry Cynthia.
Mm-hmm. That is true. That is true. And Brenda Starr said, well, she didn't sleep with LeVere. And that part is true. She did not sleep with LeVere because at that point she had made up her mind that she the next person that she slept with, it was gonna be the man that she was gonna marry. And Samuel, who is this? Pamela said Samuel had the power of touch, his smile, his kind words, his listening ear, and his honest compliment, and the smallest act of caring. he really talked about he rarely talked about her looks. That part is true.
Yeah.
All of that really describes Samuel.
He was all that and a party pack.
He was, man. Samuel really was. Now let's talk about Gavin, who Cynthia was so in love with. Remember, that's how she got into trouble that she did, because she was in love with Gavin and she was trying to help Gavin. So at this point, guys, did you think, just at this point, did you think that Gavin was a friend or foe when it came to the whole gang? JD, Brian, um, Tracy, Ashley, all of them, the whole crowd. Was Gavin a friend or was he foe at this point?
I don't know if he had fell off the reins just yet here.
Gavin was foe when he started. He was looking at Carolyn and knowing that JD was seeing her, even though it wasn't serious. Still, if you're my friend, that's foe.
That is something. And he was seeing her supposedly behind JD's back. Remember that? That was early on in the Heart series. That was book one.
Yes.
That was in book one. But this is funny, y'all. Listen, Meredith said, another funny part was when Jazzy and Jada was locked in the closet, which they really weren't locked in the closet. They was in there playing around with Trace's jewelry. And Jada could pick that lock and get out anytime she wanted to, while they're running around trying to figure out how to get her out, how to get them out. She knew how to get out all the time. All right, so now we're talking about Gavin. And said Gavin is Mr. Shady. At this point, he was shady. You didn't know which way to go. And the other question was, why would you give Cynthia something that could lead to her death?
Yeah.
Because he really did do that.
He would have been better off giving it to Carolyn anyway.
Carolyn would have known exactly what to do with Mumford.
Yeah.
If he had given it to his wife. She would have known exactly what to do. LaShawn came straight out and said Gavin is a punk, period.
Well, yeah, he was a little weak for that.
Period. And then Mama Tony said that he was straddling the fence.
Yeah.
And he was saying which way to go. So that part is that
Gavin
part
just wanted to save his behind. He didn't want to be connected or found out that, he was a part of Mumford's crew.
But that came out anyway, though.
It did came out, but at that time
he was trying to keep it from coming out. And to be honest, Mumford was too, because Mumford wanted something and he had to keep his reputation clean too. Now, Sharita says she's in denial. She says she refused to believe that Gavin was as evil as I made him out to be. Gavin was, and he was from the beginning. He covered it up like a lot of evil people do. He covered it up real good because JD wanted to see the good in people, but Gavin was evil. He wasn't as evil. He tried to be clean. He tried to be clean. He tried to work things the way that JD worked things. But then because he didn't get what he wanted, he really went and acted out. And that was it. So that's it with Gavin. Let's talk about the fight between Cynthia and Carolyn. So the first question I want to ask people is, what was that fight about for real? Carolyn had been wanting to slap the crap out of Cynthia for years. For years. And Cynthia has been wanting to get a piece of Carolyn for years. So what brought it to a head at this point? What do you think? What do you think brought it to a head at this point?
I would say,
I think once Carolyn realized who Gavin was stepping out on her with, you know, that women competitiveness came out, and she wanted to go let Cynthia know that she ain't the one, but she found out that Cynthia's not the one.
Cynthia was not the one.
look, she came at the wrong time because I think Cynthia had just about had it. She was
Yeah,
just like,
just about had it.
don't come for me. I am no more.
And she only got a
just
slap
about
in
had
where
it.
Cynthia got quite a few punches in.
What Cynthia got all the punches in. The only one that Carolyn got was when she smacked her.
That's what I just said.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Listen, she didn't get several punches in. She got all of the punches in. You know, on that one. But I do think that the fight was over something more than just Cynthia talking smart to Carolyn.
It was
You
over
know,
Gavin.
that fight. Do you think it was over Gavin?
I think so. I think Carolyn was upset at the fact that another woman had a little more control, or just as much as control as she did over Gavin. Because remember, Gavin had left her to
And
go out and didn't
what
go with her to that
that's what the
political
fight
thing.
was about.
Yeah.
It wasn't over Gavin the man per se.
Right.
It was because Carolyn, she felt that Carolyn had more control over Gavin than what she had.
Exactly. And you meant Cynthia over Carolyn.
Now, Antoinette said Gavin's whole problem was that he thought he was going to advance up the ladder before JD. And if JD had never really gotten into the political ring, he probably would have.
Yeah.
But once JD entered the political ring, that created a whole problem for Gavin. You know?
But I never heard Gavin talking about he wanted to go further than the governor. His main thing was getting into the governor's house or whatever.
But he wanted that. He didn't want that for him. He wanted that for Carolyn.
Well,
you know, he wanted that for Carolyn. Midnight, you on mute.
He felt like the stuff that he did for JD was a shoe in for whatever he wanted.
Right.
Yeah, JD flipped the switch, didn't know how to handle that.
Well, you know, at the time, I think that he really thought, especially with JD running for president, he knew he was going to have a position, you know, and he did, but it wasn't the position that he wanted.
Yeah.
You know, Martha says, Sharita, I don't understand how you could like Gavin. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. Oh Lord.
I don't know. I'm kind of with Sharita a little bit too, because I don't know at what point he turned, but at this point you could see him straddling the fence with, you know, which way he was gonna go. And I think it was more out of desperation. And then you see, as you read on, you see that it really was, he wanted something that he thought he was entitled to, and it didn't work out for him.
That's what it came down to. He wanted something he felt he was entitled to, and JD was looking at something of what he considered was best for the world.
Yeah,
you know, for the country itself, and that's what JD was looking at. Now, it's we can look back now that maybe that decision that JD made may not have been the best thing for the country, you know, at the time, but he was looking for a way that he could bring the country together. You know,
yeah. But how many times have we been like that, where, you know, we pick the least of the monster, right? Because neither one of them were good choices. And so on paper, or, you know, at face value, McClinton looked a little bit better than Gavin.
That's true, because Gavin was doing some things at that time, and we knew about Gavin's background now too.
Yeah, yeah.
By this time. You're right, Pamela. Samuel could not stop laughing, and neither could Brian, which just made things worse. So my question is, who won the fight?
No, you know what was funny though? I would say Cynthia did.
Yeah, Cynthia
Yeah.
won. Even
But
Gavin was trying not to laugh at his wife.
But you know what happened was, who was it? Was it Brian to say, he said this, it happened so fast. They couldn't stop it even if they wanted to. She was like a bulldog. She was just like, oh, and she latched onto her, and it was just all over. It was no.
I think when I wrote that scene, when Carolyn slapped Cynthia, like everybody just went into froze mode. Everybody froze because they could not believe that she had did that. But they froze. Cynthia didn't. Cynthia didn't. Cynthia went all in at that point. So, and Donnell said Cynthia didn't know about Gavin trying to protect her. Gavin wasn't. I don't think Gavin was trying to protect her. Gavin was trying to put the information in the hands of somebody that he knew would get it to the right person. So that part, that's what I felt like Gavin was doing at that time. But there's no way, just like Brian said, there is no way Gavin could not have known that putting that information in her hands would put her life in danger.
I agree with that.
Well, yeah, because why was he trying to get it out of his hands? Because his life was in danger. Exactly. And maybe he thought too that by bringing it home that's where they would think to look. But he didn't know that he had a person in his employ that was bad. Yeah. So I kind of, when hindsight you think about it, he was just trying to get it out of the place that they would look for.
Maybe, but it wasn't a good idea to give it to Cynthia because that put her life in danger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's why Brian didn't rush to go save his behind.
That's exactly.
Brian had issues with Gavin from way back. That was from the beginning. That was just some sprinkles on top.
Yeah, but that was from a beginning of time. Brian did not like Gavin, and he was waiting for his opportunity.
He had to wait a long time, but he finally got it.
He got it. He got it good too. Okay, what did y'all think of the family Thanksgiving dinner when Cynthia showed up?
I really thought Pearl was going to have a meltdown. Well, she sort of kind of did a little bit, but she did. I thought she was going to lash out.
Well, did she or did Samuel talk with her?
Samuel talked with her.
He did. Samuel talked with her and tried to
he said, if you don't want her here, we will leave.
Wait, the policeman told her what he well, no, I mean, but LaShawn though, yes, I believe that. I'm gonna stand by my word. LaShawn, like, honey, y'all gonna stop it with these people over here. They just gutted it. They bad. Listen, I do be trying to find good in people. Y'all just see what they.
You do, and it's okay to try to find the good in people, but when people show you
who they are,
you got to take them for that.
Mm-hmm.
Take for that. And Sharon is right. Brian did not like Gavin when JD was still just an assistant district attorney. That is the truth. But now, do y'all feel like Pearl really had a reason to dislike Cynthia?
No, I didn't.
Now that you know the story behind it, because it wasn't Cynthia who did that.
And she even walked away from that guy anyway. She didn't even pay no attention to him.
Yeah, she walked away from him.
But I felt like, okay, enough is enough. That was high school.
Yeah.
You know,
That was high school, but
yeah.
that was a deep hurt. That
For
wasn't
her,
just a
yeah.
regular kind of hurt. That was a deep hurt that she experienced. But this is another one of those things, why we sometimes as women, when men do something, we blame the other woman.
Yeah.
And in this case, this wasn't on Cynthia. That was on her boyfriend. It wasn't on Cynthia.
And then I think the hurt really came from the fact that she ended up pregnant.
And what happened with that pregnancy too. So that was a lot. In this story, were you guys ready to kill Sophia? You really got to taste Sophia in this book. I mean, she went from.
I wanted Cynthia to give her a beat down.
I wanted Shannon T to give her a beat down. I had to because if I put that in the story, that would have taken the story in a whole nother direction.
I don't know that Shannon T though, when she first came on the scene, I was like, whoa, y'all, you too much to swallow right now. You better pump your brakes, girl, because I don't know about you right now. I was like giving her a hand, like, wait, hold
Look,
up.
she stepped in taking over on things, but she had to be that way dealing with Sophia.
Right. I believe that too.
Yeah, she didn't know what she was gonna get with Cynthia, especially after dealing with Sophia.
Yeah.
She had to be that way.
And I think she was doing just what Jackson told her.
That's what Jackson told her to do.
Don't let Sophia or whatever, so she did her job.
She, because just think about when she stepped in, she didn't know what she was going to be dealing with Cynthia. Cynthia could have been just like Sophia.
Right. That's true.
So that's another thing to think about. Okay, next thing. Do you think Sophia or Jackson acted as reasonable parents when they left Cynthia behind?
No. The first time or the second time?
Either time.
They were irresponsible. That was irresponsible on their part.
Either time. I don't care what the reasoning was. Yes, Sophia was the one that was blatant about it, but Jackson was a parent in that situation too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he allowed Sophia to talk him into leaving his child behind.
Leaving his daughter, his 19-year-old daughter.
Now that's what I saw as being a punk.
And Joe told him as much too, like later in the books, he's gonna say, like, look, at some point you're gonna have to step up.
Mm-hmm.
Do we lose Iris?
I guess we did for a minute.
Wait, she coming back in. I wonder if his storms over there for her.
She said it was. It's just over here with me.
Oh.
We got a little bit of something going on over here. I didn't think we was going to have any tonight, so I do apologize for that, guys. But I'm back. Somebody on here said they blame Jackson more, and I did too. I did too. I blame Jackson more because Jackson could have put his foot down at any point in time. At any point in time. So I have to agree. I think that Jackson was just as much to blame, if not more.
It took him 30 years?
Yeah.
When the brother was taking over the brother's career, his son.
What Mama Tony says that Jackson was between a rock and a hard ball. I don't know. I think for me, my kids. I mean,
exactly. That was a child. Yeah. That woman could have stayed over there wherever the hell she wanted to go. If she wanted to go be on the West Coast, she could have went on and been on the West Coast.
Mm-hmm. And
that was a child.
Yeah, he did have a hesitation at first and was going to, I think he was thinking of staying, and I think something happened with Sophia must have gave him an ultimatum, and then he went over there.
And ultimatum or
like
not,
he left that child behind.
Yeah. You know, he left that
And the
child
fact
behind.
that she was a
And
young
Yeah.
woman,
He
anything
gets no
could happen.
passes to that from me.
you know, he don't get no passes for that from me.
Me
Now,
neither.
here's my question. What do you think was the psychological effect on Blake? Because Blake had to deal with all that. He felt, to this day, even now, Blake feels guilty about what happened with his family.
Yeah, he
You
feels his
know,
fault.
Yeah, he was manipulated from the word go
from
from
the
his
word
mother.
go.
And I believe if his father had not have stepped in at something and tried to, intervene on some of the stuff that she was doing, he would have been probably been as bad as she was.
I
Right.
think so too.
That's
I
why he
think so
hired
too.
Shannon. That's why he hired Shannon, because he was a punk. He knew he couldn't do it, so he hired someone else to do it.
And Shannon T had more balls than what Jackson did when it came to Sophia
Yeah.
for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for a long time. Let's not remember
Right.
when
So
this is how much of a punk Jackson was. Another woman came up in their home and dragged his wife from the bedroom down the hallway into the living room, whipping her ass, and he sat there.
He moved his leg.
why he moved his
He
leg.
moved his feet.
Look, Miss Prissy. I'm
Uh-huh.
telling you, all of the scenes with that. I mean, dragging her in there. It is that scene where he moved his leg out
When
of the
he
way.
Yes.
moved his
And
feet.
did it for me. But here
But I
again,
think
this
by
is
that time
what
he was
the
already over
Lassiter.
her. He was messing with the maid or whatever, so he didn't care by that time.
But the thing is that even till that day, it was the Lassiter that had to come and do his dirty work for him.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe called him on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they was in the
Joe called
hospital.
him on that.
Yeah, when Blake was in the hospital. Yeah.
Yeah.
All she cared about was his face. Was his face scarred? Oh, Lord.
Who? Brian? Blake?
Sophia only cared about if Blake's face was scarred.
Because that was his money. That was
No, I
his money
understood
maker.
why, but that's also your child. Really, how about is he alive and well?
But with Cynthia, with Sophia, was it ever about her children?
I don't think so.
It was always about her. You know, it wasn't about her children.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Now, in the story, what was your thoughts on Levere? You know, we knew Levere was a good guy, but Midnight said something earlier that really touched on something for me. Levere was using Cynthia.
Yeah, but he
He
told
told
her.
her, he was
Yeah.
honest about it. He told
Mm-hmm.
her, but he was using Cynthia.
Well, not that it made it okay,
Yeah.
but if she still agreed and went along, she agreed to it at first. To help him in his country.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But he was still using her.
Yeah, he was.
He may have had good cause or not. He was still using her. And that's not what she needed in her life. She needed what Samuel was giving to her, which was love.
Yeah. Love.
You
And
know,
family. She really wanted family too.
that's true. And that's exactly what Samuel gave her.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So guys, do you think that Joshua should have let Samuel kill Jamal?
Yes.
What wasn't he gonna end up dead anyway?
Who, Jamal?
Yeah, when they got back to their country. And they
Yeah,
thought
but
that
Samuel, I still think that Samuel should have been the one
Well,
who got to kill Jamal.
That would have been an international incident or whatever you call it.
Yeah, what Sharon said that Samuel would have gone to jail. Would he?
I mean, look, let me tell you, them satellites would have been cut all up. It would have not even been it wouldn't even been an issue.
They wouldn't even known about it. His body would have been gone somewhere. He would have disappeared.
That's
He
true.
would have disappeared, and that was it. So, listen, Erica said Joshua fighting Jamal was funny with Joshua fussing about his suit. for having to fight Samuel. Joshua wasn't mad at what Jamal did. He was mad because he messed up his suit. Because he had to fight Samuel to keep him from going to kill Jamal.
Right? And he knew Samuel was going to get him back.
And that's it. Oh Lord, that was a mess. That was a funny scene.
The best part for me was when Samuel woke up and his dad was sitting next to him and he started getting all loud. And Joe gave him that look.
Joe gave him that look. Everything. You better remember who you're talking to, son.
Mm-hmm.
That is the truth. Now, here's a bonus question. This might take us a little bit of a discussion, but how would you describe the friendship between Cynthia and Brian?
I think they were like brothers and sisters, really. I think what Big Mama, Brian's Big Mama,
right?
You know, when she passed away, you know, Cynthia kind of took him into something. Not that the book talk about that, but that's what I believe.
I think they was each other's protectors.
Yeah, that too.
Always felt like when either one of them was getting into it. But I remember in Brian's book when Cynthia felt like she was protecting Brian from this girl that was just knocking on the door. We know that wasn't the case, but she was, in her way, she was trying to protect Brian in that moment, right?
Yeah.
And Brian was always there constantly protecting Cynthia in just about everything she did. And you guys, the one thing that we did not talk about, two things. One is when they all walked in the room and looked down at JD's feet.
Yeah. That was funny.
When they all looked down at you on mute, Midnight.
Yeah, I was gonna say Tracy takes the case in all those conversations. Always her, because
she was so innocent,
right? And then you'd be like, "Oh Lord, really?"
But what's funny is all of them was in that room. Yep. All of them were grown women. All of them were experienced women. And what they do when the men walk in the door, they look right down at their feet.
Look, even Gwen. Even Gwen got her head because she was laughing so hard.
Even Gwen.
Especially when Tracy said, "Babe, let me see your feet."
That is true. Now let's talk about Cynthia and Brian, and we're talking about their relationship. Did Cynthia go overboard with that relationship when it came to Caitlin?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, she dealt with it with the information that she had, but I feel like she should have at least said something.
Say her name.
Yeah,
it was an interesting that was an interesting relationship that Brian and Cynthia had. Do you think women and men can have relationships like that now?
Yeah. They can have them, but once somebody finds another person, that gets real sticky.
It did in this situation too, except for Brian, it didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But for Cynthia, it did. And let's talk just for a moment. Let's talk about the friendship between Cynthia, Tracy, Ashley, and Ross. That was really her family,
right?
That was really her family. Those were the people that she came to depend on.
Yeah, and she said she was tired going over to somebody's house. I think Miss Martha.
And being the third wheel.
Right.
Yeah, and all of that stuff. She wanted her own family. She wanted to be able to do holidays with her own family and stuff. And I'm sure that's understandable.
She got that in spades when she got in with the Lassiters.
When she met the Lassiters. What did you guys think of the conversation between her and Sally when they was decorating the table for dinner?
I
Yeah,
always
remember?
enjoy conversations with Sally.
when Sally would, they were
Mhm.
always talking. Sally did always have really, really good conversations. She
Mhm.
knew how to bring people in. We were just the three of us. We was just talking about that blunt conversation she had with Theo about him being stupid
Stupid.
for hanging around for Pearl. you know, Sally
Yeah,
always
told him.
And asking him when he gonna man up.
with yeah.
Mhm.
Or remember the conversation she had with Stephanie in International Affair when she came over to the house and she told Stephanie, "My husband don't like you,
And neither do I.
and neither do I." Neither do I. So Sally has always had those, been able to have those blank conversations with people where she told you, what.
Yeah, when she had a conversation with Cynthia, though, I think, sorry, y'all, I
That's
think
okay.
she was just trying to find out if Cynthia was anything like her mama.
Mm.
Oh, but I think she was trying to find out whether Cynthia's feelings for her son Samuel was
Mhm.
legit,
Yeah.
Right.
you
That
know.
too.
And I think she got her answer. So
Yeah.
that was that. Well, guys, we have kind of come to the end of things, but before we go, I'm going to ask Midnight if she would go through the questions and select one more person to win a free download of the Pendleton Rule audiobook. So, Midnight, run through there and grab one more person.
I'm a
And while
call.
you're doing that, I'm going to introduce you guys to something that's coming up. It's not out there yet.
There we go. Our winner is Darnell Davis.
Congratulations, Donnell. Donnell, email me your not email me. You can DM me, direct message me um your
Information.
email address, and I will get that out to. So we got Donnell, Erica,
Erica.
and Cindy.
Yep.
Yes.
Those are our three winners of audiobooks tonight. Congratulations, y'all. Y'all can get to listen to
Congratulations.
the Pendleton Rule tonight. Good
Remember
luck.
your earbuds. That's all I'm gotta say. Remember your earbuds, please.
And be aware of who's around you. Be
Yes.
around of who's around you. Also, guys, please don't forget that the International Affair audiobook is also out there wherever you can find audiobooks. But I got one more thing I want to tell you guys about before I let you go. And people have been asking for this, and I finally took the time and did it. So now you are going to be getting the Dunning trilogy in a box set.
Oh,
And this is going to go on sale from my website with a special price for my birthday month.
cool.
For my birthday month. So you guys are going to be able to get all three books in a box set for $9.99. All three full
Okay.
length books for the price of what one ebooks cost. So I'm going to let you guys know when it's going to go on sale. And it will be on sale from now until my birthday, which is July 22nd. So you got a little bit of time to go out there and you can go and you can get that. And if you want to get it for a friend, because you may have the book already and you want to introduce someone to my writings, send me a message or put a note on your order, and I will go in and I will make sure that that book will go to whatever friend's address, and you have to give me their email address. So whatever friend you want to gift it to, give me their email address and we'll gift it to your friend. So that is what's going to be happening on the website. Also on the website, look for a new story, a new short. Last month I did Gwen and Avery. So you're going to be getting another new one come July 1st. So be on the lookout for that. Go over to all this stuff is on the website, guys. So you need to go over to the website to get it. But be on the lookout for it. Okay. And then our next kitchen table chat is, let me see. Can I see that? Teach Me, July 17th. So we're gonna be talking about Diamond and Zachary. Whoo, that's gonna be
That's
interesting.
such a beautiful story.
Huh?
That's such a beautiful story.
That is a good story.
Mhm.
I think that
I
once
thought
you
you
touch
said
the heart, Teach Me, and One Spark of Magic, those three stories, they just, and Fire Story too.
Yeah,
Fire Story too. Those stories, it has that touch of innocence in it, but they are just all so good. They're really, really good love stories.
yeah.
So I love
Well,
that.
don't forget the Brooks too, because you got a couple of those Brooks in there. They got
Oh,
some.
Synergy.
Hmm.
Synergy is a good one
yes.
too.
And
I
so
love
is
Timothy.
And Night of
Propensity.
Seduction.
Yeah, oh yeah. So
Yeah,
okay.
Night of Seduction with Siri and Eric, they fall into that category too.
I'm
So
confused. You said the next book is it the Heart series we doing or just
Teach me.
randomly?
the next book that is coming out is Teach Me, or the next kitchen table chat is Teach Me. Miss
Okay.
Prissy, you getting it confused with what we're doing and the other thing.
I knew
This
that.
one right here, we're just reading books.
Okay.
I knew it the moment she said it. I knew that's what she was doing. She was like, "Oh, wait a minute." She probably already in her schedule looking like, "Does he know?"
This is something totally different. This is our kitchen table chats, and the kitchen table chats don't have nothing to do with the podcast stuff. Okay, okay,
Oh,
Okay.
may I take a little small piece of the airway?
yes, yes.
Guys, I'm going to be posting tomorrow or either later tonight, but I am going to have the Queen of Hearts herself at the book bar on this Friday. And I'm not sure what I'm calling this, but we talking to her about backlash. And I've changed
Backlash.
the topic so many times because it's not really a discussion because y'all know the book doesn't release officially until July 7th. Then, so I didn't want to call it a discussion and then I called it the topic. So I think I just left it at topic because y'all, once we get in the room, when we open up the floodgates, it's just gonna be whatever.
It
But
is.
one interesting thing, we're gonna be having some giveaways because this is truly still audiobook month. We're gonna be having some giveaways for some audiobooks. I've reached out to some authors, so of course, Iris Boland herself will have some giveaways. And some other authors too.
We're actually going to be giving away International Affair on your show.
Okay, yeah, and so some other authors too will be giving me some codes for some downloads of audiobooks, but we will only be airing on YouTube, guys. I'm trying a social experiment, so y'all come follow me, okay? Follow me on my YouTube channel, and then that's where it's going to be airing on there. And again, y'all, if it goes left, I'm sorry, but mostly where everybody got the book. But so we're
Then
gonna
maybe
talk
I
to
got it out of 10.
right, right. So I'm gonna try to be good, but I know somebody gonna ask a question and I'm gonna
I'm gonna tell y'all right now. We've been waiting a long time to be able to discuss backlash openly.
Mm-hmm.
We've been waiting a long time for it. So, other than what we discussed in the spoiler room, we haven't been able to really dig into backlash. And it's a whole lot of elements to backlash. I know because right now I'm writing Siblings, the next book to Sibs, and I have to refer back to backlash and the aftermath and Sibs and News with Curves to make sure that we're pulling everything together. So just
no.
know when we start discussing backlash on Friday on the Midnight Ace Book Bar, what time is it? Midnight?
It's at 7 p.m. Central Time, so 8 o'clock for you guys on
8 o'clock
the
our
East
time.
Coast, right?
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So
So
if
we
you
are
if you
going.
want, make sure you put on your pajamas before you come because again, once we get locked in the room, sometimes we don't know how to leave. And
Yeah.
Friday, so
And it's gonna start at 8 o'clock.
right.
So I'm gonna say, listen, backlash is one of those things you need a strong drink. Notice I did
Mhm.
not say tea. This is one of those stories you're gonna need a strong drink for. So get ready for Friday night. And yes, we are going to
We're streaming on YouTube only. So go out and subscribe to my new YouTube channel, which is at Midnight Ace Book Bar 1984. So go out there and subscribe and then hit the notification button so you don't forget. And then come on back, and then we're going to be talking about it. I will be posting the graphic as a reminder either later tonight or first thing in the morning.
And I'm going to tell you guys this. For those of you who go and subscribe to Midnight Ace YouTube channel, I am going to be giving away a hardback autographed copy of Backlash along with a journal to go with it. So make sure that you go out there and you subscribe to the Midnight Ace YouTube channel so that you can have a chance to win that package that's going to be coming your way too. Now, Beverly said, is there any chance that the Gents and Gems will be available in the public library so some of my book club members are not digitally astute? That's so cute. That's cute the way you put that. They are in some libraries. Some of my books are in some libraries. If you give me an idea of where you're located, I can check and I can contact you and let you know. If
they
they're in
request it too.
Your library area. That's true. You can also request it from your librarian to see if they could get it in as well. But give me some idea, Beverly, as to where you're located, and I can try to see if what library near you that it's in. So we can do that as well.
That's a great question too, guys.
Thank you, Beverly, for that. And please, you guys who's out there, please talk to your librarians. Tell them, hey, we need some Iris Bowling books. You in Detroit, Midnight, that's your area.
That's Midwest. But you know what? We could reach out to Miss Bev.
To Loretta. Loretta will be able to tell us.
Not in Detroit. She's in Detroit area.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's true. You're in Chicago. You're the Chicago way.
But Miss Bev might have.
Miss Bev may be able to. We can find out we can see if Bev can find out for us.
Yeah.
So thank you. I'll see what I can find, Beverly.
Thank you. And for those of you all who are subscribing, based on from here till we have the chat, I'm also going to be doing a giveaway too. I'm going to randomly pick somebody giveaway. I don't know what I'm going to give away, but whatever my heart decides to custom create, you will.
Listen, I'm going to tell you, I have some hardbacks on Backlash. And depending on how I feel, you might get the hardback on Aftermath too, because I got some of those here too. So it's no telling what you might end up with.
Girl,
but you got to go over there and subscribe to the Midnight Ace YouTube channel. So there you go. But anyway, guys, thank y'all so much for coming out here and for staying. You guys stayed with me the whole time. Thank you guys so much for that. Congratulations to all of our winners. Yes, it is this Friday that I am going to be on with Midnight Ace. This Friday at 8:00 Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m.
8 o'clock, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 7 o'clock Central Time.
There you go.
Yeah, we're gonna have some fun.
But thank you guys so much for coming out here and yet again discussing one of these books. And every time we do this, you guys are right. We end up going back and reading the whole series all over again, depending on which book it is that we're doing. And also, don't forget the Dunning trilogy, the box set, all 3 of the stories. Box set is going to be on sale for $9.99 all the way through the birthday month, y'all. Through the birthday month. So just know that. But anyway, thank you guys. We will see you next month on the 17th when we discuss Teach Me. All right. I am out. You guys go over to Bev's house because Bev is about to do her chat on Wild Rain. So y'all head on over to Beverly's house. Don't forget to check out Shay and the Brown Book series.
Yeah.
When you guys get a chance, go out there and check them out. She has some great authors, and she got a special coming up soon too with Vivian Stevens.
Yep.
So when you guys go out there and check out Brown Book series as well. All
Okay.
right,
And
Miss
then do her,
Percy.
I was just gonna say, and for all of her stuff, her back stuff, if you don't have it, you can do www.brownbookseries.com, and then you can check all this stuff. Also, too, you can catch all the information about Raw that's coming up in
About Raw.
2024.
Raw 2024 is coming. And you know what? Antoinette and Cynthia actually won registrations to Raw 2024. So you guys might be lucky enough to win one too. So there we go. All right, guys, we're out of here. Go check out Bev. Thank you all. Love you. Midnight Ace, Miss Prissy, thank you for joining me. Shay's not here, but a shout out to Shay for dropping in and saying hello.
Yeah.
And we'll see you guys on the 17th of next month.
Okay, doke.
We are out.